Alright, this seems to be a recurring pattern every time I think things have de escalated. They just escalate again. So, Hasan Destiny thing. Gonna be honest, Destiny is not really a reliable source when it comes to this thing. He's been feuding with Hasan for a while. He's also a dirtbag who has allegations of his own. So, it's just two scumbags yelling at each other, and I can't really take him seriously. When I first heard about this thing, I'm like, oh, has something new come out? And it turns out that no, nothing new's come out. It's just the whole German brothel thing that reheated over with a more direct accusation that something happened with the girl who was girls. I'm not sure. I heard conflicting reports about that was being trafficked there, who was underage. So might be a an instance of the brothel not doing its due diligence. Some girl lied about her age because she was being forced into it, and they just didn't double check for whatever reason. So I don't really think there was any intent on Hasan's part to go there looking for underage girls. Doesn't really help if that's in fact what happened, but I mean, yeah, it's nothing new, and it's not like a very intentionally provable thing if Destiny's just going to claim that it happened, and assuming that Hasan doesn't have the receipts, that he can't prove that when he was at that brothel he did not go to that particular girl. So I actually kind of have to take Hasan's side on this one, because, like, if he did it and it turns out that is true, I mean, wood chipper, I'd say he didn't have, like, the intent specifically, unless that can be proven. So if there was intent, he goes feet first. If he didn't have intent, head first. We'll give him that mercy, I guess. Uh, that's a bit of an exaggeration, but jail time, because technically speaking, even if you go to a place where the age of consent is below wherever that girl was, so maybe it wasn't technically illegal in Germany. It probably is illegal. I'm assuming that the prostitution rules are a little more stringent than just the bog standard AOC rules, right? But it doesn't matter, because if you're an American and you go overseas to some place where the age of consent is lower for that specific purpose, that's still a crime, and you still do the time. And I don't think Hasan would fare very well in prison for a variety of reasons. Uh, but that being said, I take everything Destiny says with a grain of salt. I trust that guy about as far as I can throw him, which is admittedly kind of far, because he's like, what, 5'3"? So, and considering the fact that he's already been rather credibly accused of all sorts of things, granted, probably with like 17-year-old girls, but still, I mean, if you know and you still do it and you still hold on to it, okay. Uh, what I can say that Hasan has done that's completely his fault, that's completely stupid, is going over to China pretending to be, a big Mao fan, and getting harassed by the cops, and obviously learning nothing from it. I believe it was, what's his name? The former KGB guy from, like, the 60s and 70s, who said that until the boot is on their neck, they're not going to understand. I mean, until he is literally in a gulag, Hasan's still going to be doing what he's doing, because, as I've said previously, rich pampered boy. I've seen him, riding on his horse when he was a teenager. I didn't have horses when I was a teenager, and I live in the country. Just saying. So he never has to have his ideas actually tested. He can LARP it up all he wants. Somewhere deep down, he probably knows he's shilling for something he doesn't really believe in, but I can't read the man's mind. He might actually be that stupid, but, majority of people are, half of them are below average. What are the odds he's in that half? Well, he is, I mean, rich. Even if he did have a leg up, he must be doing something right, but he's dealing in the hyper real economy, of which I am now barely apart. So, I mean, he's not really doing anything directly productive, right? Maybe I'll have to explain the whole hyperreality thing in more depth later, but it's kind of more, kind of above my pay grade for like a 5 minute YouTube video, so I think I'm just going to cut it here. Yeah, Destiny, not to be trusted. Scumbag. Hasan, also not to be trusted. Scumbag. Not going to learn his lesson until it hits him in the face. And he's rich enough that it probably won't hit him in the face for quite some time, because we know how the Western justice system has a tendency to treat rich, connected people as compared to Joe Schmo. Have fun while it lasts, I guess, buddy.